Like, because you think about it, the average age of a homeowner is of a first time home buyer as of 2025 is 40 years old. So we can't even, it's not like it was before. People can't even afford to buy homes until they are 40 years old. So that's the first problem. So by the time you pay this joint off, you're going to be 90 years old. Who is carrying a mortgage at 90 years old? And then when you think about the amount that you get in Social Security, so if you haven't, if you don't have a big retirement, average cost of Social Security, what that's going to be when you're 65, 70 years old, let alone 90, and you're still carrying a mortgage, and the average home price being $400,000, your average mortgage payment is $3,000. You're not even making that on Social Security. So that's the first thing. Okay. Then you think about a 30-year mortgage. I looked up what that looked like. So a 30-year mortgage at 7% right now for $500,000, your payment is $3,300. Okay. Mm-hmm. A 50-year mortgage, $500,000, your payment is $3,000. So you're adding 20 years, but you're only saving $300.
Oh God.
Okay. Then you think about, because you know how interest on mortgages is compounded. It's compound interest. You're paying most of the interest up front. You're on a 50-year mortgage, you're paying $1.3 million in interest over the life of the loan, as opposed to on a 30-year, you're paying $697,000 in interest. So you're paying double the amount of interest on that 50-year loan that you're paying on the 30-year loan.
I mean, so let's just, just be real about it. Based upon the economy that we live in right now, is home ownership worth it, especially if he's able to succeed with pushing this to a 50-year mortgage?
It's definitely worth it, but we have choices. So choose not to get a 50-year loan, because overall you might be saving a couple of $100s on your mortgage, but you're not saving overall when you look at the overall interest, when you look at what's really happening. So what was supposed to happen is Trump was supposed to get these interest rates reduced. He couldn't do that. So let's go ahead and do something that's going to look like on the surface that we're saving the money, which we're really not saving money on this. So it looks on the surface that it's better for us. We've always had 30 and 40-year mortgages. And actually, if you look at the 40-year loans, the interest rates are always higher. I gave you an apples to apples comparison on a 30 and 50 years. But the longer the term, typically your interest rate is even higher. So, I mean, overall, it's just bad overall. There's nothing good about this, especially when you look at, for us, the wealth gap, of home ownership. White families, 70% of them are homeowners. For us, it's 43%. And it's widening, but that's certainly not the way to get more people into homes.
Yeah. And Constance, let's talk a little bit about equity, because Black families who buy homes still end up with much less.
You're muted, Stacey.
Sorry. Yeah, here we go. But for instance, one stat that says the median home equity for Black homeowners is about 113,000, white homeowners at 270. That is a gap of more than $160,000. So when equity is this uneven, it affects everything. It affects how people borrow. It affects how families build wealth. It affects what gets passed down. Could you talk about that a little bit, Constance?
Let's go beyond that and talk about the reason why there's this inequality or inequity in equity. Just this month, so I own a mortgage company. I'm refinancing a client, a good girlfriend of mine in California, and she's a doctor. So we've been working on this loan. We're actually about to close it. Finally, we're about to close it. But here's what happened. So home's worth about $1.3 million. And she gets an appraisal. She gets an appraisal about 2 months ago. She's there. She meets with the appraisal. The appraisal appraises the home at $900,000. Okay. So we no, that ain't it. So we get another appraisal. This time she's a doctor. She has one of her nurses that work for her at the house. The nurse is there. This time they appraise a home for $1.1 million. It's a white nurse, a white lady who works for her, $1.1 million. This just happened to me. So we knew that it was still worth $1.3 million. So we just did another appraisal about 2 weeks ago. She had that white nurse and another guy who worked for her, a white man. He's like a handyman or something. Guess what the home appraised for? $1.3 million. So we have these types of barriers inside home ownership and
Yep.
inequality and how they're appraising our properties. It's a shame that when you have a property, you got to take down all your black artifacts. You can't have your personal
Wow.
things up on the walls, because if they know that you're black, they're not going to give you the value. And that's a whole separate issue, but that's also a factor in our wealth and minimizing the wealth that we have in our property. So it's so many things, so many ways that they attack us. It's crazy.
I mean, is there any way to like rectify these things from a consumer standpoint? And just having like when we talk about, I always talk about how like on the news there used to be consumer affairs, and remember they would go and bust you open and be like, "Gotcha." I
Yeah.
mean, and it would help motivate the people. How can we turn this thing around from a people's standpoint?
I think a couple of things, because I posted this. I posted about this a couple of weeks ago, the day that it happened, the day that we got that $1.3 million appraisal, and a lot of people came forward and said, "This happened to me. This happened to me." A lot of people don't fight it; they just accept whatever it is. And when you use words like appraisal discrimination, when you put race, when you interject race in there, then people start to listen. However, with all of the tightening with the current administration, we don't have the support that we used to have. So the thing is, fight back, right? Bring awareness. And then we just need more Black people in those positions. We need more Black appraisers. We need more people that are in the positions that are making these decisions that aren't, that are able to give us the full value. So it's one, fight back. It's one, push back. If your mortgage broker just says, "Hey, let's just deal with it," no, you push back and say, "No, let's get another one, dispute that appraisal. Let's, here are the comps. Here's what it really should be worth." So that's what really our recourse is at this point. File a complaint with HUD. We still do have that, but how effective is it in this administration? So,
Yeah.
a lot of our rights are being stripped by the day, we see with this administration.
And Constance, can you talk about deeds? Because I know that there's some funky stuff that some folks have been doing in Baltimore with deeds. At least we know in Baltimore, but probably elsewhere. But give us a little dissertation on that, if you will.
So these things keep, for some reason, stuff keeps happening to me, y'all. I have no idea. So I'm actually in Bowie. So I moved to Bowie 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago. I moved here from California. And so I've been looking for a house in a certain neighborhood, and I finally find a house. It goes on the market. I finally find a house. I write an offer. I get the offer accepted. A bunch of people wanted it. They let me have it. So I'm excited. And so they said it's subject to us going to court and getting some stuff taken care of. Okay, cool. Well, what I didn't know was there was an HOA foreclosure on the property. Now, this property was worth about $1 million. The owner owed maybe about $500,000, and he had fell behind. He was old. He was an elderly gentleman. He got sick. He fell behind on his HOA. Was in a hospital months on end, and then he fell behind. Found out his home was sold in the HOA foreclosure. So when he found out, he said, "Let me pay." His kids were like, "Let us pay. Let's get it up." And so this investor named Sam Escari, he was like, "Nope, it's my house. Y'all get out. It's my house now. I bought it for $8,800. He buys this $1 million home for $8,800. So they go to court. They appeal it. Finally, they win. I buy it. Okay. Sam Esgari, and he goes to Supreme Court in January to appeal it. It's my house. That's what he's saying. But it's really my house. But he's saying, "No, this is my house." So he goes to the Supreme Court to appeal it, and they deny it. They strike it down. In March, he goes and he files that deed that the sheriff had given him when it foreclosed. He filed that deed on my house. And the only reason why I knew about it was because I got a notification from Zillow saying a new house sold in your neighborhood. And then I go look it up. My house sold for $8,800. So now this man's name is on my house. I got the liability. He got the asset because I still got a mortgage on it. I still got an $800,000 mortgage on it, and the house is in his name. So what I think he was planning to do, we'll say allegedly, was he was planning on evicting me and stealing my house. And this just, so I went to court. So I hired an attorney. I go to court last Friday, They filed a motion to dismiss because he didn't show up. First, he sent a message. They emailed him. They were like, "Hey, you filed this deed. What happened?" He was like, "This is my house. You guys violated my civil rights. I want my house." So my attorney is like, "Yo, this guy's really crazy, Constance. So you should probably watch out." And so I said, "Well, you know what? If he come over here, he might come walking, but he gonna leave limping or in a body bag because I don't play them games. So if he's come to my house, try to do something, it's gonna be some problems." But so anyway, we ended up winning last Friday in our court hearing, and the house is rightfully restored back to me. But what I've learned, because I posted about this, is so many people that this has happened to. There was an elderly couple that this happened to. Same exact attorney was involved, the HOA attorney, different HOA, different community, same investor. House was stolen. They fought for a year to get it back. They got it back. They ended up dying. Their son ended up dying. They said this was so stressful. Stressful. Another gentleman, he went to out of the country for a year, came back. He fell behind on his HOA. House almost paid off. He's evicted. Somebody else DM me. Somebody DM me today about a house in Bowie that this has happened to. So this has just been a rampant. This is the same guy who was in a legal embattlement with Kevin Spacey last year in Baltimore. So that's the Baltimore connection. Kevin Spacey had a home in Baltimore that was foreclosed, and they had a lot of stuff going on. So what I'm doing right now is I'm proposing some legislation to hold these HOAs accountable and to stop these illegal foreclosures because too many people have been victimized. It's crazy stories I'm hearing.
Right. Before we have to wrap up, thank you for that, because it also talks about the burden that you have to even fight back. Yeah. Let alone you still have to pay your mortgage and your HOA and all of that. Yeah. But before we let you go, in context to what we're talking about, the Trump administration is considering introducing a 15-year car loan. And so I just want to get your thoughts about that. And like, is this the same practice? He's just helping his friends just get more money and gouging the people. I mean, I know the answer to the question, but I do want to get your expertise.
That is exactly what's going on. So you think about all of these things that we have. Compound interest. Einstein said compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Those who know about it earn money from it. Those who don't, pay it. We as consumers on everything that we have, whether it's a credit card, car payment, mortgage, we are paying compound interest. And the longer that they can stretch out this interest, the more money we pay, the more money that these people make. So on the surface, oh yeah, 15-year car loan, my car is going to go down $100. But in reality, 15 years, that car ain't even working no more, right? So you're paying on a car that's probably not even working for 15 years, which is crazy. But it is a way for the powers that be to make more money.
Yeah, Constance. If you guys check her out, what's the is Instagram at I am Constance Carter?
Yeah, my Instagram is I am Constance Carter, TikTok, Facebook, all of those things. You can follow me at I am Constance Carter.
Because all these questions, folks, she answers a lot of the questions that you may have in the chat, including the stuff about title insurance and stuff like that. She talks about all of that. We stalk you, Constance. Don't worry about it. I'm just letting you know we stalk you, but we do want you. Our producer especially wants you to, before you get out of here, leave us with a word, she says.
I just say, everyone, when it comes to your mortgages and things like that, just be really vigilant. Work with people that you know. All of these banks, see, the CFPB was put in place to be a watchdog for all of these banks. And you see, one of the first things that Trump did when he got in office, he tried to eliminate the CFPB. This is an agency that is looking out for the Consumer Protection Bureau, whatever, CFPB, right? Consumer Finance. This is for us. This is a watchdog that has fined Bank of America millions of dollars, Wells Fargo millions of dollars, all these big banks that were gouging us, that were offering predatory lending practices. And Trump wants to remove them. Why? Because it takes money out of those big banks' pockets. So I say, work with people that you trust, question everything, work with Black people, bank with Black-owned bank businesses, and just double check. If somebody's not looking out for your best interest, shop it, go somewhere else, because you do have rights. And if people want to do business with you, you are in control of your own destiny. Don't take everybody's word for it. Be very, very, very vigilant about your and protecting your assets.
Wow. I am Constance Carter is the Instagram. Check her out, folks. Follow her. You'll get educated on a lot of stuff, especially the stuff we've just talked about. We appreciate you, Constance.
I appreciate y'all having me.
Peace and love. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much. And one headline before we get out of here today: the last penny has been printed, ending. I think we might as well end on some money. The last U.S. penny has been printed, ending a 232-year tradition after Trump called it a waste of money. Now, the U.S. Mint pressed the final coin in Philadelphia on yesterday. So bye to the penny. No more penny for your thoughts.
Yeah,
Out the window.
exactly. Wow. Whew. So that's one of the huge policy priorities of the Trump administration, right? Get rid of the penny.
Get
Okay.
rid of the penny. They say it costs more than a penny to make it. It costs like 3 or 4 pennies to make it. I mean, so maybe, a broke clock is right twice a day, as I always say.
Twice a day? Okay. In this case, in Trump's case, 1.5 times. Do we have to give him the full? We have to give him the full 2 times?
I mean, we can't let his altered reality affect ours. The truth is
Right.
the truth.
And before we get out, Charles Terrell says the poorest white will let you pick his pockets if you tell him he's better than the richest black. Of course, that was according as a quote from President Woodrow Wilson. He says, "Isn't that something?" Yeah, absolutely. Niel, we got Karine Jean-Pierre tomorrow.
Excited about that
Yes.
conversation.
So join us then, and of course, what should they do beforehand? Where should they go for their news?
Oh, you want to talk about? So I know there are tons of headlines headed over
Oh
there.
no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, and I think that we should add that conversation because it was very popular in the chat today. The conversation between Nicole Hannah-Jones, April Ryan, and Don Lemon, so that everybody can catch it because it's definitely a conversation piece in the chat today. So look for that. Hopefully on Black Press USA. And if you can't find that, there's tons of other news and information that inspires and empowers the Black perspective. So head over to BlackPressUSA.com.
And we will see you tomorrow. Enjoy it, folks. Take care.